Okay, now I've installed the hard disk drive. I'm going to attach the Molex connector, 4-pin Molex connector to the drive, give it some power. Actually, I'll put some SATA power to that drive instead. So this is a SATA extension cable. Just going to plug that into the L pin connector. Should be a simple job. Make sure it's complementary. Plug it in. There we go. Simple. What I'm going to do about that cable. It's bending a bit. Right. Now let's give it some data. To attach my own cable. Get my red cable. Get my red solder cable. Let's plug that into this slot down here. Zoom. So that's my SATA slots. If it'll focus. Man. Focus. Focus. Focus, Luke. Well, that is not liking that. Alright, I'm going to take the red cable now. Doesn't matter which side you use. You can just plug that in. Plug that into SATA 2, because I'm going to be installing my SSD. Alright, going to do a bit of cable management and just like feed that through behind the heatsink. That's good. It's gone quite nicely. Let's switch it around. Alright. Move it back up. You can see we've got our SATA power here. Now I'm going to install the data cable into this L slot here for the SATA data. Right, it's good. That Western Digital drive should work. So now, did I lose you during that? I'm going to have to do that again? Oh no! Alright. Okay, I'm going to take this SATA cable and plug it into the data slot, or the SATA data slot on the Western Digital drive. That's the smaller SATA connector. Just plug that in there. It's a simple install. And the last component is, well, one of the last components is the SSD and the optical drive. But what I have done is I've done something terrible. I have to plug in this IDE connector, which is nicely wired under there. Let's just go down. Right, that is not going to be easy to get to. I'll feed these around. I have to unplug this. Right, which one's the system? So IDE connectors are very simple. One of them says system. It's upside down, it doesn't matter. And it's got a little notch on it. So let's just shove that in there. If I have space. Come on. Come on! I remember them being quite forceful, these IDE connectors. Alright, that's in. That's the optical cable for the IDE in. That's good. Next job. Next job. Right, because this case is quite old, it doesn't have a 2.5-inch bay, so I am just going to rest my SATA cable in there. Right, SATA cable is going to go right there. You can see that right there. Right, so again, I just plug this one back in. Gonna take my silver cable. They don't have different speeds. One of them's silver, one of them's red. Right, let's take that out. And they're both the same side, so it doesn't matter. Right, the L connector into the complementary slot. Right, let's take this beautiful SSD. I'll just give you a minute to look at it. Man, it does not want to focus. You're a piece of shit. Now look at that. Nice and dusty. This is supposed to be one of the quickest, and I'm putting it one of the slowest PCs on earth. That works perfectly. So there we go, got our data. Now I'm just going to feed this through. Make sure it's not blocking the CPU fan. And now let's just lie it down there. And that should be fine. Should probably blue tack it in, but I don't move the PC, so it doesn't really matter. Now I need to get that SATA power, which I have here. Beautiful. And that slots right back in to the other complementary larger SATA slot right there. Let's just pop that in. Put that upside down. There we go. SSD is wired up. Right. Just sort that out. It's looking beautiful. And we're almost finished. What I need to do now is install the optical drive, which is here. It's so old, it's ridiculous. It's actually a writer and a reader for DVDs. So this is quite simple. I can just simply slide it in. So that's in. Need to make sure it's lined up with the screw holes on the side. And then I will screw those in. Did you see that last part? So this is quite a simple case. It's just a slide in. Simple. Slide in, push down. Done. So now the ejector on the front works. Everything works. I would put the screws in, but I said again, I'm not going to use it. Well, I'm not going to be moving it around and using it. So it should be pretty simple. What I need to do now is give it a Molex power supply and IDE connected data. Let's zoom in. Right. Focus! You can do it! It does not want to focus. Right, I'm just going to plug it in. Okay. IDE connector. Right. Right, haven't left myself a lot of space, but as you can see there, is our IDE data connector. I'm just going to plug that into the complementary slot, make sure the notch goes on the right side. Right, beautiful. So that's now plugged in. Optical! Oh my god! Right, Molex connector. There we have it. This is the last stage. Putting in this 4-pin Molex connector into our drive. Right. So as you can see, it's there. 4-pin. And that plugs in complementary to that. And we are done. Just going to put the case back on. And that is looking absolutely beautiful. Right, there is our complete system. Just give you a quick tour. Right now let's quickly put on the side panel.